Hi, Cassie.
Hi. Hi, Danny.
So sorry that I was a couple minutes late here. I'm going to give it another minute for people to hop on. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
Hi, Matt.
Hello. Long time no see. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Actually, I was meaning to call you because I hadn't seen you in so long. We can chat after this if you're free and if we end early. But yeah, I really want to catch up with you. And thanks for coming, everybody. I'm so sorry I was late. A detective from Oakland PD called me, and so I'm so sorry. Just had to chat with him for a minute. So well, thank you everybody for coming. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to record. Is that okay with everybody? Oh, we already are recording actually automatically. Today's class is going to be going over direct mail pieces from command. Really, this is only useful right now for just listed or just sold postcards. So I want to let you guys know that off the bat. And if you are an agent with KWSF, KW Peninsula, KW Oakland, KW Santa Monica, we actually have an opportunity to also use California Concierge to send direct mail postcards. So if you're contemplating whether you want to use California Concierge or whether you want to use Command, there are just some things to think about. So I'm going to start off talking about just a couple of those things. I know that turnaround time is a big hot button in our market right now. The market's really hot. Some things are selling after just 1 week. When you need a postcard, time is of the essence. So with that being said, the timelines for getting your postcard turned around through Keller Williams Command direct mail postcards, it can be 1 to 2 weeks. If you need to ensure that your postcards are going to go out quickly, I would recommend going through California Concierge. Now that does require you to export a mailing list for them, and you can get a list from title. If you want to circle, farm around your listing, you can get a list from title of addresses and names around your listing for however many number of postcards you want to send. So I would, if time is of the essence and you're getting ready to list your property, you want it to go out pretty immediately, use California Concierge. If you're thinking ahead and you're doing this in advance, then you can time it right and go through KW Command to do your just listed or just sold. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen and get started. Give me just one moment. I'm in designs and I need to get out of there. All right, here we go. All right, and I'm just logged in at agent.kw.com. And the place you're going to go to do a mailer is campaigns on the left. And at the top, you're going to click direct mail. This is a direct mail campaign. And we're going to click create a new campaign in the top right corner and click create direct mail. And name your campaign, your direct mail campaign, and then the purpose. And again, really right now, this is only useful to advertise a listing. So either if it's just listed or just sold, or if you have it listed as coming soon and it's like has that special designation on MLS that is public information or whatever, there's a specific thing you can say when it's coming soon, when it's okay to have this be public knowledge. so that you're able to send a postcard and be in compliance. You can do advertise a listing and make this a coming soon. And we're going to use a default template that's provided to us. Click setup campaign. And now it's going to prompt us to select a listing. If your listing is not yet on MLS, if it's not yet syndicating out, then you're not going to be able to find it here. So just know that. And so if it's coming soon, you're not going to be able to find it here, but you can manually upload the photos. I'm going to go ahead and search for, let's see, listing agent. One of our agents, I'm going to find one of his listings. Here we go. And it grabbed the address, the listing price, listing status, and number of beds, number of baths. Don't actually know this information, so.
And Danny, something I wanted to point out to everyone is that the different templates that you see on the right side, the different sizes, actually have different description links. So I learned this through trial and error. So some of them have more copy that you can put in this section where it says description. You can see the one Danny has right now only has a 350 character limit, but some of them have more. So you might want to also check with them, click on each of them, decide which one you want to use first before you start editing everything in on the left-hand side. The price is also different. So keep that in mind. The larger the postcards, obviously the price per postcard goes up. So
that is a great tip, Matt. So as you can see, when I selected the 6x11 jumbo, it did give me a 1,000 character max. So it did increase the maximum. And I'm going to click save there. And here's where you put your DBA logo. Mine's pre-uploaded. It's pulling from my marketing profile. And it's pulling my office information too. Oops. And then targeting. So we've gone through a listing photo. I didn't go over this part with you guys, I'm sorry. It auto pulls all of the photos from the MLS. So you can select one of these photos. I'm gonna leave it as just this first one. Oh, it says low resolution picture. So it's probably gonna do this to everybody.
it does. So everything it pulls from MLS isn't high enough resolution. So it's best if you have the photos from Open Homes Photography or whoever you did your photos to upload manually your own photo at high resolution for best print options.
Yeah, so great tip, Matt. So you want to make sure you have those somewhere, maybe just your photo you want to use downloaded. I bet you probably already do, but here you go. There's the, oh, that one's also too low res. I don't think I have any high res ones I can use. Nope. All right. Let's see. Is that one? No. Okay. So make sure your photo is high enough resolution or it's not even going to work here. You can see how it keeps kind of limiting me. I'm going to see if it will let me push forward with that photo. No, it's not. Let me see if I have any in my downloads.
So while Danny looks for those, the other tidbit I wanted to share was that currently right now there's a bug in these postcards that it doesn't pull your DRE number in. So I would recommend that at the end of your copy that you're writing about, fabulous home, blah, 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 the very last thing that you put is your California DRE and put that number in there, because you obviously want to make sure that you're staying compliant with the Department of Real Estate. So that's just something to double check. They're working on fixing that. It's supposed to pull in with your agent information, but as of right now, it doesn't. So Danny and I have escalated that to support to try and get that fixed.
I'm just gonna use, I don't think I have any property photos. Matt, do you by chance have a high-res photo that you could send me that I could use?
Yep, just a second.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna skip the listing photo and come back to that in a moment. For your, yeah, as Matt said, there is no place right now for you to put your DRE number. That is something, by the way, KW knows about that and they are working on it. All right, back in the listing details section in that description, again, that's where you want to put your DRE number. So make sure that's in there. And then my agent information, we already went over. Market information, we already went over. Oh, actually, we didn't go over this. I don't know why it didn't expand for us. So make sure you go through these one by one in order so you don't miss anything, but that does pull from your marketing profile. So everything, if it's correct in your marketing profile, it should be correct here. And same with your market center info. Then we move on to targeting. You can either select local targeting or target my database. Local targeting is going to allow you to select a certain number of homes surrounding your listing. And it'll also let you select certain criteria for those homes. We'll get into that in a moment. All right,
And
here is, yeah, go ahead.
I sent you a photo in the chat, so I don't know if you can get it easily that way.
Yeah, I can do that. Thanks. Can we design in Command and upload design to California Concierge? So yeah, you could use designs. So the design section of Command, you just want to make sure that you're using the correct postcard size that you want and that California Concierge will select. And when you're giving that design to California Concierge that you made in Command Designs, make sure you export it with the crop and bleed marks for them. They will need that. Does that answer your question, Andrea? Great, awesome. And looks like I just was able to download, ooh, great photo, Matt. I'm gonna save that. Well, it said it saved. So let's see, the title is DSC 7210. Okay. All right. So with your targeting, you want to make sure that this is the address of your listing. So that's going to be the center of the area that you're going to target. All right. And then back to the photo. Let's fix that. Here it is. And save. Thank you, Matt. Problem solved. All right, and now I have all green check marks here. That means I've confirmed each and every section that I need to look over.
Go
ahead.
The target. I was going to say that the next phase of the targeting is on the next page, right? The where you pick. Okay.
Yeah, so first it's going to ask me how many postcards I want to do. So let's just say I want to do 400. Postage class, you can do standard or first. If you really need these to go out quickly, time is of the essence, you probably want to do first class. And it looks like that stays the same no matter what quantity I'm doing. But maybe let's see what happens if I go up to 1,000.
Yeah, as of right now, I haven't seen a change in the price, which is unusual because I think California Concierge gives you a discount the more you make.
They do. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind is that the prices for California Concierge are going to vary. And for first class, it might be, it's definitely going to be the printing cost in first class going to be less if the more postcards you buy per piece. First class is always going to cost the same, but at least the printing cost will go down the more postcards you purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And if you want a QR code, add a QR code to your postcard. Once scanned by the recipient, they will be taken to a page where their contact information is captured and tracked by this campaign. You can turn that on. Landing page, and then you have to send them to a landing page. So I would do like the contact me page because that's where they're going to input their contact information. And this is just from my agent website. And it also has landing pages listed in this dropdown too. And now, like Matt was saying, the next step is configure targeting. So are you sure you want to create this campaign? Yes. And now hopefully we'll get a preview of the postcard. So I'm just waiting here. It's just taking a minute. Sorry, everybody. Does anyone have, oh, well, it's working now. Okay, so it's still loading on the right-hand side, but on the left, you can see I'm scrolling through these targeting options. And there are quite a few. On the right, it's showing where my listing is and all the houses that are currently targeted. All right, here we go. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can see that map. All right, on the left, number of homes to target, that's where I can select that toggle. Property type, all. I could change that to single family or multifamily. This is a multifamily property. I don't want to target other multifamilies though. And then bedrooms, number of bedrooms. And toggle that. Square footage. Year built. Year last sold. Last sold for.
There's a couple different philosophies there's a couple different philosophies you could take in here. If you were, say you had like a very modern new building, like a new condo you were selling, you could obviously just market to people who also live in very similar ones. Some people would say, hey, I don't want to market to people who just moved to the neighborhood in the last 2 or 3 years because they probably aren't interested in buying. So maybe you want to advertise to people who have been living there a longer period of time. But some people would argue, well, new people who move to the neighborhood might actually have other friends that, for example, want to move to the Mission or to Hayes Valley. So I want, they talk about how great it is living in Hayes Valley. So maybe they would actually share it with their friends who might also be interested in living in Hayes Valley. So there's like kind of a lot of different philosophies that you could take and how you kind of target your audience in this matrix here.
Brilliant advice, Matt. That is great information. So yeah, depending on kind of who you think is going to be most likely to also maybe sell their house with you or buy from you.
For example, when I did my luxury listing out in Alamo, like I only advertised to houses that were over $1 million because I figured that people who had houses in the East Bay for $500,000 just aren't in the same, don't have the same potential buying income to purchase a 1 point. We were listed at like 1.8. So you just have to kind of think through those types of things when you're marketing.
That is super insightful. Thank you, Matt. And then the postage, you can once again confirm which class, either first class or standard meal. And then you can opt to send a copy to the company address, which is going to send it to that address. And you hover over info button. And then you can click next. And it's going to prompt you for your credit card.
And it has all the details on the processing and how quickly they'll get out there, which changes depending if you're first class or.
So this one says estimated delivery 4 to 6 business days once the order is submitted. So you want to definitely make sure that, and that's business days, that does not include weekends. So, you know, you definitely want to calculate your time accordingly when you're sending these out. And again, if you have any kind of doubts about whether it's going to get out in time, use California Concierge, because they can get it out a bit quicker. And then after you pay, your order will be submitted. Oh, and here's the preview up top. Sorry, I didn't show this. And you can click here to view a larger preview of everything. Notice there was really no opportunity to like move things around or adjust anything. There were simply fields that I could type into, and then it put everything on this postcard, how it's supposed to go. So there was never an opportunity for me to edit the template or to move things around. All right, so that is how you do a direct mail campaign with postcards. Now I also want to show you, if you are wondering, if you're with KWSF or KW Peninsula Estates and you want to put in a request for a postcard, we have a special website for that. Again, this is only for KWSF and KW Peninsula Estates. You can come to kwmarketingbar.com. You can click request a job, and they'll design it for you so that you're not really so stuck in a template that's so rigid. Here is where you can request a property postcard. So the next screen is going to ask you for all the copy you want to have on there, the property details, and also a link to photos and which photos you want to use on there. So let's see, I'm going to open it up to questions. Looks like a couple people posted in the chat. Can we test the QR code to make sure it goes to the page we want? So yeah, if you want to do that, Andrea, all you have to do is go to the larger preview, hold your phone up to that QR code, and let's see, where is it? And make sure it works. So, you know, try and go to your whatever camera, sorry, and hold it up to this QR code on your computer screen, see if that works. Make sure there's like no glare, because that's going to impact it being able to scan that QR code. So that's how you can test that. Yep, thanks Matt for answering that question. Awesome. Any other questions from anybody? Oh, Peter, you're muted. Go ahead and unmute.
Thanks. Between the two options, going to the kwmarketingbar.com versus doing it on your own, do you have a preference, or does KW have a preference? Do they want us to do it a certain way, or
no?
What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are just like, do what's best for you and your timeline. If you feel like you need to be able to depend on a quicker timeline to get the cards out, I would use our marketing department to design your cards, and then use California Concierge. And by the way, if you're not with KWSF and you're not with KW Peninsula Estates, I believe that California Concierge has templates that they can design up for you or pop your photos and text onto. So they have templates too, just KW San Francisco, KWSF, we have our designers. So if you, again, need a quicker timeline, you can depend on California Concierge.
And the biggest difference, Peter, is that the one that Danny just gave us example of allows you to select what your audience is online. If you were doing California Concierge, you'd have to get a distribution list either from a title company, or if you have a farm, geographic farm already, you'd have to ask them to pull that. So if you were doing a listing in a neighborhood that you have never sent postcards to, you'd have to ask for that in advance. So
That's another great point,
Right.
Matt.
Okay.
And then one last thing about the main difference that I think when you get in here, you'll realize, you know, I was only able to select one photo for this postcard. So if you wanted to include maybe 3 photos total, you know, this just doesn't really allow for that. So if that's something you want, then you can do that with California Concierge or our marketing department.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I have
Any-
another question.
yeah, go ahead.
Where can we find a template for not listings, but basically representing the buyers, just sold, I guess? Is there a default in there, or can we? Is there another template that we can?
So Matt, can you comment on that?
So I think for most of the ones that are in here are just sold or just listed. If you wanted to represent buyers, you could go into designs and find a postcard in designs in Command.
Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna say one thing about that, Andrea. So if you represent the buyer and you plan on using the professional photography from the listing agent, that those photos are copyrighted. And so you definitely want to be really careful of.
Right, yeah, I have my own photos.
Okay, cool. Since this is recorded and other people might watch in the future, I just want, in case anyone else is thinking about that, want them to know. Great. All right, everybody. Any other last questions before we sign off? All right. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. Really appreciate your time. I'm sorry if this was on the schedule. Oh, it was 30 minutes. So perfect. We are on time, actually. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And we do have Command Happy Hour at 3 o'clock today. If anyone has other miscellaneous questions, feel free to drop by. Bye,
Okay, great.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Matt.
you.
Thank you.